Greetings, people. It's Mr. Pull the Trigger yet again on another episode of the Enlightenment series. So let's dig a little bit deeper about this missing child, about testimony, the child to Ruth Matthew, so that we get an understanding. Because we really need to put this case, all the narratives, all the theories possible, for the Church of God to understand that we are not just accusing a man here. We are not just fighting Jeremiah Omoto here. We don't have a personal vendetta against Jeremiah Omoto at all. So we did analysis, two, speculation theories, but they are both factual and they are both solid. Because based on Brekete and based on the policeman that was brought to Brekete's show, the entire conversation that they centered, the entire conversation that made them to disregard Ruth's testimony was all based on the fact that Ruth Matthew did not mention about the 18-year-old daughter that she had gone with to the show.
She's in charge of the zone. As we carry the complaint go there, let us first find out the circumstances surrounding the missing child. All the people she mentioned, she alleged to have hands in the missing were invited, about 20 of them. To some extent, our sister here were found not consistent with the truth.
Okay. Not consistent with
not
the truth.
Consistent
with our
truth,
story.
with our story, sir.
Okay.
But still, the question that remains unanswered is the child is missing.
But make we understand the true circumstance will lead to the. You understand? Yes. Make we understand how the pikin take loss. Make we understand whether na lie she dey lie on top of Prophet Jeremiah. Whether na lie she dey lie on top of the church. Make we understand. We here, we know they support anything 110% like that until the truth come out.
It was from there.
And part of the statement shows say the stepdaughter
who is 18 years
follow her go to church.
Go church.
And according to that 18 years old girl follow, and when I know say our sister here no mention say she carry adult follow body. And according to what I hear, now right from when they did there, now I begin receive update. The lady in question, that adult, that her stepdaughter, according to what I hear, I know they there. She confirmed say then they there. Then all of a sudden one woman come inside Keke na Pep. Come they ask of where then they say Indomie.
Every day she sent the daughter to go and wash, according to her.
The stepdaughter?
The stepdaughter.
To go and wash what?
And wash clothes, according to her. But when the daughter came, she said no. Not the clothes she will send her to wash, to go and grind pepper.
Okay. When I don't hear this version, yes, make we hear from her why she no tell us the truth.
Yes, sir.
No, open your mouth. Take microphone close to your mouth because your mouth sharp.
Yes, sir.
So why you no tell us say you carry your stepdaughter follow go the church?
I'm sorry for that, sir.
Well, that is one. Number two, why you no mention going to one woman where you hear say they ask for where then they say Indomie, and you no talk say you send Triumph
and testimony
testimony to go and what?
Show the woman.
Show her. My own be say here, not the truth.
Yes, sir.
We want and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
No be place to destroy anybody.
Yes, sir.
No be place to intimidate anybody.
Yes,
and you cannot use us to destroy somebody.
Sir, I am sorry 100%. I'm 40 because even myself, I blame myself.
So let's dig deeper. Let's think through all these facts until we get to the point, until we get to where we want to get to. We just don't want to get there just by magic. We want to get there step by step, and then we analyze, we psychoanalyze everything. And at the end of the day, to those of Jeremiah who are saying that Jeremiah has nothing to do with this, we are giving them an opportunity for them to prove us wrong. We are giving them an opportunity for them to just go back to their database, to just go back to their CCTV footages and pull out a footage from that particular day. And they can show us Ruth walking in with only 3 children. And they can show us Ruth lying about everything that she's talking about right now. This is very simple from Jeremiah's point of response. Jeremiah's defense must not be something. We don't even want him to come out and say he has nothing to do with this. We don't. He can remain silent forever. The only thing we expect from Jeremiah, the only honorable thing he can ever do, is to show us a CCTV footage of that day, to just clear up his image and call us all liars. And we will swallow our words if he can do that. But you know why he will not do it? Because the CCTV footage is evidence of everything. If it has not yet been deleted, it will never be produced. I don't know why the police did not investigate by asking to see the CCTV footage. But how could they investigate if they have been given brown envelopes? They couldn't. Why did Brekete not go to that extent of asking to see the CCTV footage? That's what any investigation agent would do. Even a lay person, the first thing that they would want to see where there is an incident of such nature is, let's watch the CCTV footage of the particular day and see what happened. Why didn't Brekete ask to see that CCTV footage? But the question is, did he not see it? Did he not watch it? This is a question to Brekete family as well, because it takes only one case to discredit all that they have been trying to do. Because if they can't be just in a single case, and a very pertinent case like this, they can't be trusted to have dealt with all the other cases with justice. And to the policemen, we want to ask as well, did you ask to see the CCTV footage? If you watched it, what did you watch? What did you see? These are very simple questions that we are just asking to these people for them to answer. Instead of Brekete and the policemen to come out and say, Ruth, you lied, apologize. They made Ruth apologize. If I was Ruth, if you were Ruth, you were also going to apologize. To say, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention about the 5th child. And Brekete, he made the entire show about that thing, about the missing child, about the 5th daughter that was not mentioned. That's how he spinned the entire story and discredited the entire testimony of Ruth Matthews. But that was not fair. That was not just at all. It wasn't. What Brekete did was ungodly. What Brekete did was not fair. It was not cool at all. He might have done good things in the past, but this time around, he did the worst. That qualifies him to be disregarded. Is an unjust man. Which justice does he stand for if he compromised on one case that he could have made right? Ruth Matthews deserved justice. And she still does. And that's what we are still fighting for. So let's do analyses. You're going to watch 2 analyses that I did with my 2 brothers. And also put your 6th sense into it as we dig deeper. Because the content I'm putting out today is going to be used in the International Criminal Court of Justice. Because we can't prosecute Jeremiah in Nigeria. Nigeria does not have the capacity to take down someone like Jeremiah. And we all know our African countries. They are corrupt. Our leaders are corrupt. So this content is not just for likes. We are not playing here. This is serious. Talking about a child that went missing. Brekete forgot about the child that went missing. The policemen forgot about the child that went missing. They focused on the 5th daughter, 18-year-old daughter that was not mentioned. So we need your senses as well, your 2 senses as well. What do you think? What do you think happened? What could have happened? What could have transpired? And whatever that could have transpired, why is Jeremiah not proving us wrong? Why is he not if he's innocent? For real, the real thing here is a child is missing. And kids have been missing in Jeremiah Omoto's church. People have been mysteriously dying in Jeremiah Omoto's church. It's not only in Jeremiah Omoto's church. All these prophetic occultic shrines. Mysterious deaths are rampant. So listen to the first analysis that I did with one of my brothers. She went to Jeremiah Omoto's church. she wanted to get some sort of help. She had a problem of losing money. You know that thing of you don't know where your money went. You had this money and that money miraculously disappears. So her child, she has 4 children. She had 4 children, and the oldest one was 13 years old, and the youngest one was 2 years and 5 months old. So it's actually a child who said, "Mom, we always see this prophet Jeremiah on TV. Can we please go to his church so that he can pray for you? Maybe this thing of money going missing will come to an end because we see him helping a lot of people and even giving other people money." So the mother said, "Okay, it's fine." And the mother is disadvantaged physically. She walks with with the hands and her legs. She's her situation is very bad. So they went to Jeremiah Omoto, and when they went, you know how these African prophets operate. Of course, they will charge you to see them. They will charge you a consultation, the one that they call one-on-one. And she was charged close to, in total, it could amount to 100,000, because within that 100,000, there were a T-shirt that you had to buy if you want to go to the mountain, a ticket that you had to buy, and and other things that you had to buy. And for consultation alone, for the one-on-one, I think it was about 18,000. But she had to pay it because her situation, she really needed to be prayed
South
for.
Africa kana
It's Nigeria.
Okay.
It's in Nigeria. So yeah, she paid the money and she left her children outside as she was going to consult with Jeremiah. And when she was done consulting, she comes out. One of her child is missing, the 2-year-old child. And she starts asking, "Where is my child? What happened to my child?" She starts making noise, looking for the child everywhere. Called the police same time. "I missed my child here. Something is happening." The police said, "Yes, we've been hearing cases of kids missing at that place. We wonder what is going on. We are going to investigate and find out what happened to your child." So Jeremiah, also trying to to rubbish all this, he chased the woman out of the compound. Said, "Hey, you want to tarnish my church? What are you doing? What do you mean you are missing your child? It's either you do not come with your child here or you're lying. Get out, get out." And then he chased her out. He even said, "If you want 2 million naira, just say it, and then I'll give you the 2 million naira, and you can forget about this child." And that helpless woman, who is she? She went to the police again. The police said, "No, come back tomorrow." She went back the next day. The police now changed the story. They were like, "No, you know what? We are suspecting you to be the one who's responsible for this missing child. You should explain to us what happened to your child." Nigerian police. And from then, she did not know again what to do. She did not know what to do. So she went to another show called Brekete. It's there in Nigeria. It's a humanitarian aid kind of a show. They claim to be representing for human rights and fighting for human rights for those people who are oppressed or those people who don't have a voice. So she went on that show. She told her testimony as it was. She explained everything. And this Brekete guy was actually in support of her. She was actually questioning, how can you make a woman like this pay this amount of money in a condition? How can you demand 18,000, 35,000 naira from a woman like this? And you even charge her more to say we want to go to the mountain. Which mountain can she climb in her condition? What's wrong with African prophets? What's wrong with this prophet Jeremiah Omoto? Why is he doing this to a woman who is disadvantaged like this? You know what? We are going to investigate this matter. This is Brekete show on TV. It's actually a TV show. And it actually started very well. And, this is Nigeria we're talking about. 2 days down the line, the woman was brought back to the show. Now the narrative has changed. Brekete has pinned the entire story now. They brought the police officer who was the investigating officer, to ask and put them again on the show. Now Brekete, he kind of changed the narrative and twisted the narrative. And he was now accusing the woman to say, in the testimony that you gave the last time you were here, why did you not mention that you had another girl child that you were with? Why did you only say you had 4 children? And
She's talking about her children.
Yeah, he's talking about her children. But the first time she went, she said, "I went to Jeremiah Omoto's church with my 4 kids." The reason why she did not mention the fifth one is because it's not her child. It's her stepdaughter. She's a daughter to what? To the father. So she maybe, I'm thinking she did not just mention her because I don't think she was necessary. The girl is 18 years old at that time. So now on the second day she was brought back to the shore after Brekete had called Jeremiah to investigate. After Brekete had called these police to investigate, he came back and spinned the story and made the entire story about the fact that Ruth did not mention about that girl child. And then he said, why did you lie? That's the second narrative now that made this story die. This story happened about 2 years ago.
So the way that this needs to be broken down, first is to tackle the issue of Kuti. You start by questioning, is the God of this Jeremiah Omoto only found in mountains? Is the God found in mountains? If there is a God that is only found in mountains, because if God is omnipresent and omnipotent, He's everywhere. If you have powers to pray for people, you don't necessarily have to take them to a mountain and get them to go up a mountain. What is the point of going up mountains? And what is it with going up mountains with these prophets? It's to a point that a disabled person that is crippled, that walks on all fours, is made to pay to go to a mountain. What is in that mountain? Is God in a mountain? Let's start there. So you break it down like that. Utanga kuti Mwari wako iwe kana achingwa kwa mountains, and in that particular mountain, then He is not the God of the universe, the omnipotent and omnipresent one, because the omnipotent and omnipresent one can be found everywhere and anywhere. Why do you need to go to a specific spot for this? Is this not ritualistic? Secondly, if you are a prophet and you can see and hear, why don't you point to where this child is? Do we need to involve the police to investigate, to search for this child? If it is not you that has taken the child, and you are a prophet indeed, you should be able to say this child is at a place like this. If you can prophesy and locate things and tell us about tomatoes that are in a fridge, tell us about the child. We all know, second point, we all know that there is corruption in Nigeria and people have a price. And some of these people would have started off on the right path, as you said. But after consultation or after visitation from the prophet, and they are blessed with some monies, they change and start supporting the prophet. That needs to be brought out in very simple and clear terms like that. Then we go into the whole point of why do we need to pay? But the important thing right now is there's a child missing. The police have not arrested this woman to say you know where the child is. The woman is saying the child went missing. The woman did not say the child was taken by Omor. But why is it that they are doing so much to try and make it look like it's the woman's fault? What are they hiding? The fact that they are not even helping the woman means they know where the child is. They took the child. They are using these children as ritual things. If the first instance the police in their report said we've had this before and things like this are happening there, someone is paying to cover up the real things that are happening there. Is this the first child to go missing? That's another angle to interrogate.
It's not.
So, ndichatarisa zvangu ndozodzoka, but just from what you've just said, a lot of people, because a lot of people don't up on these things. This God, why is the God in the mountain? Why are we even going up the mountain? Omnipresent, omnipotent. Let's focus on that. If God is everywhere, if you are a prophet of God, do you need to go up a mountain to get better signal to communicate with God? Is it a mobile network? If one So is his power affected by location as a prophet? Is his ability to hear and see things and hear from God affected by location, like someone with a dodgy phone? So when you start doing that, people start thinking, but pani nyaya. Because right now, you could be all focusing on the woman is lying, because the point that what they've pinned on this woman is you lied about the fifth child, so everything else that you're saying is a lie. The woman is not lying that the child is missing. And when she says, I went with my 4 children, she's talking about minors, the infants. So she could say, I went with my 4 children and an adult. The fact that I didn't mention the adult does not mean that I lied. I did not lie. I just didn't speak about it. When those things are put out like that and put into the people, then vanotanga kufunga zvakasiyana nezvavanga vachita before. Because right now, if you're saying she lied, but what was the lie? Because a lie is spoken. Did she say, I only had 4? Or she said, I had 4 children with me, my children, I had 4 of my children. She did not say anything about the adult. 18-year-old is an adult. She did not say that 18-year-old is no longer a child in the context of what you are saying. So when we clear that part and say, this woman is a victim, she is missing a child, how would a whole mother say that my 2-year-old is missing and you say that she lied? Why are we not focusing on the missing child? Why are we talking about a child that was not mentioned? The child that was not mentioned is not missing. The 18-year-old that was mentioned is not missing. The focus here should be on the missing child. The fact that the mother missed the other one in mentioning who she was with does not mean the child, that 18-year-old, is missing, and does not qualify as a lie. Because she did not speak a lie. You are the ones telling us that she lied. But what did she lie about? How did she lie?
And besides that, Elder, at this church, no one just goes in and out without being monitored. And at this church, there are CCTV cameras everywhere. Everywhere, I say. So if they say she lied, why is it hard for them to pull out a CCTV footage and prove a lie and catch her in a lie?
And say, when you arrived with 3 children.
And here's the proof.
You did not arrive with a 2-year-old. Here's the proof. If that footage can be given, because how do they prove that this woman is lying when she did not speak that?
The way they proved it is by using the Brekete, the same platform that she had gone to seek for justice, and the policeman to go and say, why did you not mention? Why are your statements not consistent? That's the only proof that they have to say, why did you not mention about the 5th child that you went with? For that, we are disregarding your entire testimony and your entire story.
No. They can't. That's just a talk of people that have been paid. Because now you're trying to find fault with the woman instead of finding the child. If you are that good at finding fault, find where the child is. That's a fault. A missing child is a fault. Find that one. Don't find fault in saying you mistakenly did not mention the other adult child.
Yeah, they know. Elder.
You are onto something there. Press it.
Definitely. Yes, so after listening to this, these are all questions that I want all of you to be asking. And this is going to help us and, channel this investigation in the right direction. Because no matter the weather, Jeremiah will be brought to justice. They say he's untouchable. There's no man who's not touchable. There's no justice delayed is not justice denied. Ruth Matthew is going to get her justice. We're going to fight for her. We're talking about a child that went missing here. Have you ever lost a child? Have you ever had a child? And your child disappears. And you live the rest of your life not knowing what happened to your child. Think, people. Let's think together. Let's bring victory to this woman, Ruth Matthew. Let's bring victory to her. And let's bring justice to her. Listen to the second analysis. that I did with my other brother. And the reason why I'm doing all these analysis is so that we all think together, so that we know the people that we are dealing with, so that we ask those questions that have not been asked before. So listen to the analysis.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you can ask again the question now.
Yes. Looking at the video, I heard the police saying that of a truth, that's a missing child. Then the leader of Brekete Family, whose name is Ahmed Musa or whatever his name is, but is popularly known as Ordinary President, is trying to outrule the fact that it's a missing child on the basis of the young lady not mentioning that another person, that's a fifth child who happens to be her stepchild, she took to the ground. I don't really get it, like
exactly
trying to maneuver this one.
You know, the point you are raising, it's a very valid point.
Yeah.
And it's a very crucial point that it's actually exposing the lack of integrity that Brekete has, that the policeman has, and it's very, it's disgraceful. It's embarrassing that from the testimony that the young lady gave, that Ruth gave, the entire testimony of how she explained how she missed a child, how a child got lost at Jeremiah Omoto's church, they disregarded it based on one point, and that point is, why did you not mention that you brought a fifth girl, a fifth stepdaughter? So
somebody who is going through such trauma, how can she be stable enough, articulated enough to remember everything that happened? Besides, that is not even the bone of contention. Having 5 people or not, she is looking for a child.
That's all.
Emphasis.
Still the child is missing, but they ignored that on the second interview. It was no longer important that the child is missing. What was important now?
You look at their faces. I'm quite good when it comes to psychology. You look at their faces. It's written all over their faces. It's written all over their faces. Like you can see the stupid. How do I call that? The guilt on their face. While Ordinary President is trying to jump over this issue to another ground, the guilt in his face, in his voice, is very much obvious for 2 different reasons, or if not more than 2 different reasons. Either that he has received money on his own, or he's looking for a way of attracting this individual to notice him on his own. Either he has received, or he's trying to showcase himself that, oh, we are fighting for you. Then the police guy already know what he's doing, because I wonder, in Brekete Family should be the one inviting the police to come and testify. Then who now invited the police? Like, all of you left what you are doing. It's not like they are calling the police on the phone to get their own side of the story. How did you happen to get all these people coming to persuade this girl to confess, to take back her words,
and to apologize?
I don't even get it.
She was made to apologize.
To apologize, forcing her to apologize against her own will. Is not. The girl is just helpless. She's just saying whatever that will. Okay, fine. I apologize. But on what grounds is she apologizing? Her child is still. That's. I don't even know how to classify this. This is wickedness of the highest level. Somebody is losing the child, and at the same time is the one still saying, I am sorry to you, and you feel good about it.
Do you know, my brother, that lady, Ruth Matthew, she was forced to come back to that show together with her 3 boys. She was forced to come and clean up Jeremiah Omoto's image and swallow her own words and apologize.
Yes.
What was she apologizing for? Is the question. What was she apologizing for?
Apologizing for what?
Be-
Apologizing for what? Okay. If even if I thank God, God just wanted exposing them, because in the first ground they can, if they planned it well, they can organize and say, okay, yes, the child missed at the ground. We don't know if other people took the child home or whatever. There are a lot of people there, another, all this bullshit. Of course, we know what that means, but it would have been a more logical ground to say. But sweeping the missing child under the carpet on the grounds that, oh, you didn't say there was another individual, the fifth person, who happened to be your stepchild. So for that, we are ruling off everything you said. I don't get it. And like you rightfully said, there are in that huge auditorium, they call it, I don't believe whatever nonsense they're doing there, because like your words are like very straight, like getting me back to back, is a shrine. Is whatever they call it. So in that height in the magnitude of that auditorium, there are CCTVs. So if you are trying to say that this person is not sane, that she didn't come with this missing child, you can just play the CCTV. Let's see. You have it everywhere. Play it. Let's see.
Simple.
And then that brings us closer to the investigation. Either that she didn't come with this child at all, or that she came with this child. But okay, let's now look for what happened to this child. Maybe a member might have taken the child home, because you cannot tell me the child died in the ground and we didn't see the dead body. Maybe the people stepped on the child or whatever, because of the crowd that was there, the people slept on the child. We should have seen the dead body. Or then we can now start thinking, okay, maybe somebody took the child home, maybe a missing child, then we have to raise a banner, we have to make a publicity that if anybody sees the child, return him to the church or whatever it is. You are trying to wipe everything off the floor, which is to say, there is something you are hiding.
Exactly.
There is something you are hiding.
Brekete himself,
Otherwise,
the first thing he should have asked for was a CCTV footage of that day.
yes.
If he was really interested in investigating this matter, or if he was really for justice, the CCTV could have proven everything, and he could have come back to his show to say, look, I watched the CCTV footage. Ruth did not come with 4 children. She's lying. He could have done that to prove a point.
Yes.
Jeremiah Omoto can do that as well, any time of the day. Just show us the CCTV of that particular day.
My brother, listen. Without the police, without Brekete, if Jeremiah is who he claims to be, having this report getting to him in the first hand that there's a missing child in the place, if he is genuine to whom he is claiming to be, he should be touched, moved to say, how do we go about this? Like a missing child in this ground. Okay, let's look. Where do we have to start from? He should be the one, first of all, playing that CCTV to find out he himself, not to clear his name, but being consigned as a shepherd. If he is, and that's a case of a missing child, of course he has family, he has children on his own. Let's say one of his kids gets missing in that same ground. He's just going to dust his clothes and just go home and say, oh, thanks be to God, one child missed. Oh, thank God, it's one of those things. Is it?
It's bad, my brother. It's very sad. On that particular day, when this woman raised this concern that she's missing a child, the first place that they could have gone to was to the CCTV footages on that particular day to say, let's check where the child went. But he instead chased her out of the compound of the premises, saying, hey, Ruth, get out of here.
Okay.
You are trying to frame me here. You want to bring down my ministry. Get out. Do you want me to give you 2 million naira so that you forget about this? That's what he said in Ruth's own words. That's what she was told. And Ruth told him, listen, say, I don't want your money. I just want my bikini. I want my child. That's all. I don't want a cent from you.
the more the comments come up, the more questions come in. Because why is he taking it so personal? Because somebody said in this ground, the person is not even accusing him. The accusation is not to him. I came with a child here, and the child got missing. It's not an allegation to him himself as Jeremiah, as a person. It's not an allegation to him. It's not an accusation to him. So why is he then taking it so personal?
Because he knows what's happening. He knows what happened. He knows what he did.
Because what happened.
So, you tell me now. I want to hear from you. What do you also think? Jeremiah Omoto's followers, I know you are in a defensive mode already. You are so willing and compelled to defend your father. But let's put our differences aside. And let's put this issue at hand of a missing child in perspective. Let's consider Ruth's condition. And let's consider the pain that she's feeling right now with regards to the child that she lost. Put yourself in her shoes. And if you can, please share this video. It really needs to reach where it's supposed to reach. The world needs to know about this. Everybody needs to know about this. This is what is happening in our churches, in our African churches. This is what they've been doing over time. And all these cases have been swept under the carpet because there's absolutely no one that is willing to fight for these victims, these vulnerable people. So get back to me. Give me feedback. Let's share ideas and opinions. Is this just? Is this something that we can tolerate? Or is this something that we should just put an end to for once and for all and clean the Church of God? So till I meet you again on the next episode of the Enlightenment series, it's Mr. Pull the Trigger. I'm out.